Michael Myers is real, and he's dangerous as hell. Let me explain. I went to a Halloween party back in the day with a few friends, one of which was a girl I had a really big crush on. She went as a zombie stripper, meaning she just wore her normal work attire, or lack thereof, and I went as Freddy Krueger. Anyways, as everybody is dancing the night away, I slip away to the kitchen to down a 6-pack of beer. I needed all the liquid courage I could get before I made a move on my beloved. As I'm doing so, I noticed a man about 6'3", 6'4", or something like that, dressed in all black, and a Michael Myers mask slip in through the back door. I didn't think it strange aside from the fact that I couldn't see his eyes. I thought it was a really good costume though. I walked over and told him that actually, but he just stared down at me until I walked back to the kitchen. I thought it was a little weird, but I figured he was just in character. He eventually started dancing to whatever music was playing at that point. I think it was White Snake or some shit. As I'm downing my last beer at the kitchen counter, surveying the room with my glassy eyes, I turn and notice a guy dressed in an also impressive Jason costume. And he starts dancing with my girl, waving his machete around like an idiot. And I'm Freddy Krueger, so I already hate that freak, my sworn enemy. After I finished my last beer, I had enough liquid courage to go over and confront that behemoth about my beloved. I grabbed him by his rotten shoulder and asked him what the hell he was doing with my girl. He immediately uppercut me and I went flying like a football. While I was on the floor taking in what I thought were my final breaths, I briefly saw that dumbass Jason and my crush go off into a back room away from the party crowd, smacking her booty before putting a do not disturb sign on the doorknob and closing it. I fell unconscious right after, as some of my other friends in the crowd danced around my lifeless body. A couple hours later and I wake up in the passenger seat of a moving car. We're going through a lot of quiet suburban streets and I'm confused as hell. I look over and see that guy dressed as Michael Myers driving, staring at the road, in complete silence. I asked him what we were doing, and of course he said nothing. At this point I was sick of the Halloween shit and demanded answers. That's when he pointed to the back seat. I slowly looked to the back and saw Jason's severed head laying on the seat. I wanted to puke, but I remembered what happened earlier. The humiliation, the physical pain of his rotten fist making impact with my nose, the mental pain of him taking my girl to Pound Town. I thanked Michael, but he just stared straight, not making a sound. It was right about then that we pulled up to the front of my house. I tried to give him a fist bump, but he didn't budge. That all changed once I offered him some of my finest Mary Jane, to which he happily accepted. Not many people get to say they smoked a joint with the greatest slasher villain of all time, right? Never did find out exactly what happened while I was out. I can only assume Double M had some sort of respect for me after I complimented him on what I thought was just a Halloween costume. Anyways, once we were finished, I finally gave him some dap before closing the car door, and he subsequently drove off into the night. If you've ever wondered if Michael Myers was a real man, let me give you an analogy. Remember WWE wrestling? Yeah, I rest my motherfucking case.